Water at 45 degrees Celsius, about 113 Fahrenheit. Hot enough that most people can only sit in it for 15 minutes. It is also the temperature of the liquid flowing into NVIDIA's newest AI servers, not coming out of it, going in. And there is not a single fan inside that server, which sounds like a small detail. It isn't. That one decision decides whether the building needs a refrigeration plan or not. Cooling accounts for 40% of a data center's electricity, and it evaporates around 2.6 million gallons of water per megawatts every year, just to stay cool. So why on earth would you make the coolant hotter? Two questions. Why does hotter water make cooling easier? And how do you run water over electronics worth millions without soaking them? Both questions come down to one number, 45 degrees. Air cooling worked for 40 years. So what broke it? It is not how much heat these chips make. It is where the heat comes from. A modern AI chip can burn well over a kilowatt, almost all of it of a piece of silicon a few centimeters across. Picture a kilowatt space heater. Now shrink the whole element down to something you could cover with a postage stamp. That's more than 100 watts per square centimeter. The silicon only survives because the heat is pulling away the instant it appears. Stop for even a moment and the temperature runs away. The chip leaks powers, slows itself down, and even gets degraded. Every watt has to leave. For decades, the answer was air. Push enough through a heatsink, and the heat rides out with it. When chips got hotter, engineers did the obvious thing. Bigger sinks, bigger fans, spin them harder. And it worked, until it did not. Because the fan was never the problem, the air was. Air barely holds any heat, so shifting a kilowatt means moving a huge amount of it, every second, forever. Past the point, you are just making noise. So the industry split the difference. Liquid on the hottest chips, air for everything else. That held until AI blew past it. And that's when engineers made a call that sounded absurd. Instead of colder coolant, they went hotter, 45 degrees. And the reason has nothing to do with the chip. For years, data centers chased one thing: keep the room cold. If a server hall didn't feel like a fridge, something was wrong. But why did the room need to be cold at all? The answer has almost nothing to do with the computers. It's about the machine sitting outside the building. Fans pull the heat off the servers, but it still has to leave the site, and almost all of it ends up here, the chiller. A chiller is a heat pump. It forces heat backwards, from cooling water into warmer outside air. Physics doesn't give you that for free. You pay for it in electricity. Look at water in a cooling system. Pumps move water, fans move air. Only the compressor fights thermodynamics, which is why it eats most of the power bill. And electricity isn't the whole bill. A big site can evaporate millions of gallons a year because the server wants water colder than the outside air. If it's 40 degrees outside and your coolant needs to be 20, heat won't flow that way on its own. So you burn electricity in a compressor or water in a tower. Most places pay for both, which is where the whole thing turns. What if the coolant didn't have to be 20 degrees? What if it could be 45? Following a single watt of heat, it leaves the silicon, crosses the thin layer called the interface material, spreads into the copper plate, and slips into coolant running a few millimeters under the chip. Cold plates are not new. The real move was deciding how warm that water could get. The coolant is mostly water, 75% of water and 25% glycol, to stop it freezing or corroding. Picture the radiators in your car. That's basically a dry cooler. One rule: heat only flows if the liquid inside is hotter than the air outside. Say it is 40 degrees outside. Coolant at 20 can't dump heat into hot air. So the chiller has to kick in, change one number, make the coolant 45. Now the outside air is the cold side. Heat flows out on its own. and the compressor just switches off. And that's the first question answered. Hot water doesn't cool the chips better. It changes what the building has to do with the heat, which should be impossible, right? If the coolant 25 degrees hotter would stop the chip from cooking, hold that thought, the payoffs were saying first. Coolant goes in at 45, come back nearly 55. So the whole loop stays hotter than a summer afternoon nearly everywhere on Earth. Every degree you raise the loop, save about 4% of your cooling energy. Raise it to 25 degrees and you are not turning the system. You are rewriting the economics of the building. At 50 megawatt size, that's around $4 million a year in power and water. But the chip did not change. A modern AI processor still tops out around 90 degrees. With 20 degree coolant, you have a 70 degree gap to play with. And every layer between silicon and water shares it. The solder, the lid, the interface materials, and the cold plate. Raise the coolant to 45 and you cut that budget by more than a third. All of a sudden, every degree counts, which turns the most boring layer in the stack into value. The interface materials fills the microscopic gaps between chips and the lid. Because no surface is truly flat, and the air trapped in these gaps is a great insulator. If it is not good enough, heat gets stuck before it reaches the water. So everything has to get better. Better interface materials, finer channels, and faster flow. And the biggest redo was not even the GPU. It was everything else, memories, networkings, all of it rolls on the moving air. Pull that fan and it's all lose cooling at once. So the whole board gets rebuilt around the liquid. One inlet, one outlet. Which leaves the question everybody asks. You are running water directly over live electronics. Every tray connects through fittings that snap shut on both sides as they part. Sensors line every rack, ready to wall off the leak the moment it starts. Pull out the chillers and the towers, and the loop closes up. Fill it once, seal it, done. Which rewrite whether you can build. Water access no longer pins you to a river, and the 55 degree water coming back is warm enough to heat real buildings. IBM and ETH Zurich proved all of this back in 2010 with a machine called Aquesa, water up to 60 degrees, about 40% less energy than the air-cooled machine beside it, heating the campus with the waste. So why did anyone copy it? Because back then, servers was not hot enough to bother. AI ended that argument. So was the 45 degree really a breakthrough? Not quite. The real work happens years earlier, in every layers between the silicon and the water. Only once that was solved, could anyone ask how hot the coolant could get. And that's why this was never really a story about cooling. It is about skill. The next wave of AI will be capped by whether we can power them and get the heat back out.